Happy holidays. Football's awaiting their bowl fate, soccer's historic season ends, and much more. My name is Sarah Palczewski, and this is Tiger Tally. As the Alabama State Football Championship kicks off inside Jordan-Hare Stadium, right down the road, there was a fierce battle between Vestavia and Lee County.
The third annual United Flag Football Championship was held in Auburn's own indoor practice facility. The game was between Vestavia Hills and a combined team of all the schools in Lee County. Denise Ainsworth and Steve Savarese shared on how and why this event takes place.
This is a unified game which combines able-bodied athletes with special needs, mentally disabled athletes, and they play together in a flag football game.
Well, we're excited to have our third annual unified game. This is a very exciting time where we bring in two school systems to compete against each other. We work collaboratively with Special Olympics to provide this opportunity for the students.
It was a tight game between the Rebels and the Tigers, but in the last few minutes, the Lee County team squeezed out an 18-15 win against the Rebels. Here's what Coach Stewart had to say about it.
Oh, I'm so excited. They've worked real hard, and we've just, prepared. And this was a close game. I give Vestavia Hills, credit because they're a tough team. So to get away with a win is great.
It's a big deal. These kids, they don't get to have a lot of the typical experiences that high school kids get to have. They don't get to play sports a whole lot, or with typical kids. Some of them do, but most of them don't. And to be in a venue like this and to get this kind of attention just means the world to them. And it means the world to us as families to be able to have that experience for them to share.
I'm Mary Grace Long, reporting for Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
Congrats to Lee County for the win and Vestavia Hills for the tough battle. Late Monday night, a plane carrying Brazil soccer team Chapecoense crashed in Colombia. The crash killed 71 of the 77 people aboard the plane. Players, coaches, and journalists of the Chapecoense were on the flight. The team was set to play in the South American Cup Finals on Wednesday. Atlético Nacional, the Colombian team that was to face Chapecoense in the finals, asked the organization in charge of the award to give the title to Chapecoense. The college football regular season is ending and the college football playoffs are almost set. Is your team in? The current rankings for the college football playoffs are at number 1, Alabama Crimson Tide, number 2, Ohio State Buckeyes, number 3, Clemson Tigers, and number 4, the Washington Huskies. The first two teams out are the Michigan Wolverines and the Wisconsin Badgers. Let's take a break and stay tuned to find out what has been going on in the world of Auburn sports. You're watching Tiger Tally on Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
This is Auburn Feud with your host, JJ Jackson.
It is! That's the number 4 answer. 19 points awarded to Theta. Yeah! That's 6th answer. They clogged the toilet.
Welcome back. I'm Ben Bracken, and this is the College Block. Let's get to it. The women's soccer team competed in the Gainesville Regional before Thanksgiving. The Tigers were able to take down UConn to advance to their second straight Sweet 16 round. In the Sweet 16, they met with the number 1 seeded Florida Gators. The Tigers defeated the Gators to advance to their team's first ever Elite 8 in program history. The Tigers traveled to California on Friday to face the USC Trojans. The Tigers could not keep the Trojans out of the back of the net as they fell 1-0 to USC. The Tigers ended their historic season with a 17-7 record. Volleyball also closed out its season. On Saturday, the Tigers hosted Texas A&M, losing 3-1. The team went 15-16 for the second straight season and finished 6th in the SEC. 3 players on the team also received special recognition. Jessie Earl, Alexa Philly, and Gwen Jones earned all SEC honors. Staying on the court, we have another top 25 ranking. The women's basketball team at number 23 in the latest AP poll, which was released Monday. This is the first time the team has broke into the top 25 since 2009. They will be back in action tonight when they travel to take on Kansas State. The men's basketball team is also looking hot. Over the weekend, the team competed in the Cancun Challenge, making it all the way to the championship game. 17th ranked Purdue handed Auburn its first loss of the season. That was also Auburn's first bracketed tournament final since the San Juan Shootout in 2002. The Tigers returned to the Auburn Arena Tuesday night to host USC Upstate.
The Auburn Tigers returned home Tuesday night playing the USC Upstate Spartans in the Auburn Arena. The Tigers, coming off a second-place finish in the Cancun Tournament Challenge, looked strong in the first half, leading 42-32. The Spartans were able to keep the game close in the second half, going on a 12-2 run late in the half. However, the Tigers were able to pull out the win 90-83.
If you're a little disappointed in how we're playing right now, you should be. And if you're wondering how good this team really is going to be, you should wonder. We've given you enough reasons.
Freshman Mustafa Heron led the Tigers with 22 points and 6 rebounds. He believes Auburn's best basketball is yet to come.
I think that we see the potential. I think I've always heard the potential to kiss the death. So.
The Tigers will go on a 2-game road trip, first to UAB on Saturday, and then to Madison Square Garden to face Boston College on December 12th. For Eagle Eye Sports, I'm Sarah Palczewski.
The Tigers will be traveling to Birmingham this Saturday to play the UAB Trailblazers. It was rivalry week. The 13th ranked Auburn headed to Tuscaloosa on Saturday for the Iron Bowl to battle the number 1 ranked Crimson Tide. Auburn, who is still suffering from injuries affecting the team's overall performance. Gus Malzahn also announced Jeremy Johnson as the starting quarterback for the game. The game started out as a defensive battle. The Tigers defense held the Tide to just 13 points in the first half. On the Auburn side, the Alabama defense held the Tigers out of the end zone as Daniel Carlson put the Tigers on the board with 3 field goals to send them into the half, down 13-9. In the second half, the Tigers were held off the board until Daniel Carlson knocked in a 27-yard field goal at the end of the third quarter. The Tide scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter and then a field goal in the fourth quarter to seal the 30-12 victory over Auburn. With the regular season now over, the Auburn Tigers will have to see how the conference championship this weekend goes and for the bowl selections committee to see where they will play in this postseason. We're going to take a break, but stay with us to see what's happening in the national world of sports. You're watching Tiger Tally on Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
Auburn Guides is your guide to Auburn University. You can access schedules, create your own to-do lists, interact with friends, and always get the most up-to-date information. The Auburn Guides app gives access to information on the go so you never miss out. Auburn Guides is available for free on the Play Store and Apple App Store.
Welcome back to the National Sports Block at Tiger Tally. I'm Sarah Palczewski. With just a few months to go from the 4th World Baseball Classic, we could be about to watch our last one. The 2017 tournament could be the final edition of the WBC unless there's a significant uprising in revenue. The bottom line is that the MLB may be making insane amounts of profits. They will not just spend money with no revenue incoming. The New York Mets have re-signed Yoenis Cespedes for a 4-year, $110 million deal. Regaining Cespedes was on the top of the Mets' priority list this offseason. Cespedes and the Mets agreed to terms after Cespedes opted out of his 3-year, $75 million contract. After 10 years of Thursday Night Football, the NFL may be ready to call it quits. It is unlikely that anything would happen prior to the end of the 2017 season, but in February 2016, both CBS and NBC signed up for 2 seasons of Thursday night games. This contract ends at the conclusion of 2017 season. After the deal runs out, the NFL could conceivably do whatever it wants with Thursday night games, including eliminating them altogether. The NFL suspended Sontrell Henderson for 10 games for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. This is his second violation of the policy. Henderson is an offensive tackle for the Buffalo Bills and missed the first 4 games of the season for his initial violation. New England Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski suffered a ruptured disc in the loss to the Seattle Seahawks 2 weeks ago, and he'll need surgery. Gronkowski left the Jets game early because of the injury. He's expected to miss 8 weeks after the surgery. Chicago Bears quarterback Jay Cutler will undergo surgery on his labrum on his right shoulder. Cutler will be placed on IR for the rest of the season. Up next, we're going to go into our last installment for our fantasy football segment before a winner is crowned. Stay tuned to Tiger Tally on Eagle Eye TV Channel 6.
This is Auburn Feud with your host, JJ Jackson.
It is! That's the number 4 answer. 19 points awarded to Theta. That 6th answer, they clogged the toilet.
It's playoff time. Let's get to it. I'm Meredith Brito, and this is the Fantasy Football Blitz on Tiger Tally. Today on panel, we have Erica, Micah, and Brooks. Are you all ready to start the playoffs?
No.
No.
You're the only one that has to be ready this week.
No, I'm poised to make a good playoff push.
I get a bye week, so I'm pretty good.
Yeah, BYE is going to be a tough test this week for me.
The seeds are set. Last week was our league's last week of the regular season, which means the seeds for the playoffs are now set in stone. Last week's winners were My Team the Deckers, Honey Bunches of Oats, Bill's Mafia, Teamy McTeamface, and Edelme Longtime, who led in scoring. Now let's take a look at our playoff bracket. There will only be 2 matchups this week, while the other 8 teams will have a bye. This week, the number 7, Teamy McTeamface, will face off the number 10, the Olivias. In our other matchup, we have the number 8, One Last Shiva Blast, going up against the number 9, It's On Like Grunky Kong. Brooks, what will be key for you to beat the number 8, One Last Shiva Blast, and advance in the playoffs?
Well, I would say Rob Gronkowski has to go off this week, but as we learned earlier today, he won't be in the lineup this week or any other week for the rest of the year, more than likely. So I just need solid quarterback play and hope for a miracle.
Micah, Erica, how will you prepare this week for your next matchup?
My next matchup isn't for a whole another week, so I really don't know how I'm going to prepare for it because I don't know who I'm playing or who is going to be on the other side. I don't even know what the bracket looks like.
I'm just praying no one on my team gets hurt. That's really the only thing. So that's, I guess, the only way we can get prepared for it.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Even though this will be our last film show up for the semester, you can still keep up with our league. Just go to NFL.com, click on the Fantasy tab, and search for the Tiger Tally Fantasy Football League to catch all the action and see who will take the trophy when we return. It's Conference Championship Week, and the last chance for some teams to earn their spot in the college football playoffs. One of the biggest games from last week included Ohio State defeating the University of Michigan by a score of 30-27. Michigan is now number 5 in the playoff rankings, while Ohio State is 2. Now on to our first game, the Big Ten Championship. The 10-2 Wisconsin Badgers are currently ranked at number 6. Their 2 losses of the season have been against Michigan and Ohio State. Last week, Wisconsin defeated the Minnesota Golden Gophers 31-17. Their opponent, Penn State, is also 10-2, but ranked number 7. Their 2 losses have come against Michigan and Pittsburgh. Last week, Penn State defeated Michigan State 45-12. The spread is in favor of Wisconsin by 2.5 points. Do you think Penn State can pull off an upset here?
You guys just had to put the Gopher thing on there to get under my skin, didn't you?
No, I didn't do it.
Come on now. I watched that game and it hurt a lot, so I had the Auburn game and then that game to where I was just like, cool, Minnesota's up big, and then they blew the lead just like everyone was expecting. I wanted Paul Bunyan's axe, but that's beside the point. I do think Wisconsin's a better team. I think they have a better defense. I don't see Penn State winning this game.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. I mean, I don't really consider this much of an upset game. If Penn State were to win the game, they're actually ranked right behind each other. They're both very good football teams, but I really feel like Wisconsin's got the better hand.
Well, I guess I'm going to be the outlier here. I think Penn State has a really good shot of upsetting Wisconsin here in Indianapolis. And I think they're coming in with a lot of steam, beating Michigan State 45-12. So I think Penn State's going to pull the upset by the margin of 2.5.
Michigan State?
Yeah.
No.
It's
the 3-win Spartans?
It's still a big, conference opponent. It's still a big, momentum booster.
Now an in-state matchup. The number 11 Oklahoma State Cowboys will travel to face off against the number 7th ranked Oklahoma Sooners. Last week, Oklahoma State won against TCU 31-6, while the University of Oklahoma came away with a big 56-28 win at number 16 West Virginia. The spread favors Oklahoma by 11 points. What are your predictions for this game?
Oh, do I gotta go first? No, I don't want to go first. No, I'm not going first. Go ahead, Brooks.
All right, fine. This is going to be a classic Bedlam game. It's going to be high scoring, classic Big 12, high scoring, no defense at all. I had a hot take earlier in the week on my weekly radio show. I said in this game, Mason Rudolph will be the better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. But I don't think that's going to be enough. I think Oklahoma's going to get this win and probably a berth in the Sugar Bowl.
I'm going Oklahoma State.
You going on
I'm going on the upset.
Now, what did we learn last week?
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Go. Starts with a P. Pokes. Okay, there we go. Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I'm going Boomer Sooner in this one. I think Baker Mayfield gets it done. And we might be talking about this game later because it might have Auburn involved in it once they go to the Sugar Bowl.
You never know.
For the American Conference Championship title, the 9-3 Temple Owls will face the 9-2 Navy Midshipmen. Temple is coming off a 37-10 East Carolina University win, while Navy beat SMU 75-32. What do you see happening in this game?
You gotta go first on this one.
You gotta go first.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go Navy. I go Navy all day long whenever they're playing. So Navy's going to take the win. I don't care how it's cut. It's gonna happen.
I'm gonna take Navy in this one as well.
Well, normally I would take Navy. I gotta, you gotta think about this game a little bit because Navy's ranked up there, but you gotta think they don't have the same type of athletes that Temple's gonna have because Temple can actually recruit athletes. Navy gets what comes there. So I think it's gonna be closer than what people think, but I still think Navy's gonna get the win. I think it's gonna be much closer than what people think. Maybe a 3-point game.
After their 9-3 win over the Akron Zips, Ohio University is looking to try and upset 12-0 Western Michigan. Do you think they'll be able to get this done?
Row that boat.
Row the boat.
Western Michigan all the way.
No doubt.
Next, we have the Mountain West Championship game where 9-3 San Diego State will face the 8-4 Wyoming Cowboys. Who do you see taking the W in this game?
This is your pick.
No, you haven't started.
I was the first one on the last one.
You haven't started
You know what? Fine, I'll just do it. San Diego State wins this one pretty handily, although they're going to be affected by the cold because I believe the game time temperature projected is going to be 29 degrees in Laramie. But San Diego State still wins this by 14, maybe 15.
Yeah, I've got San Diego State winning this game, although, Wyoming, wow, I can't talk. Valiant, gonna give a valiant effort, but not gonna succeed.
Yeah, it's a Wyoming team. The coach from NDSU went there 2 years ago now, is trying to build his program up. Steps in the right direction, it seems like every year, but SDSU, I'm taking this one.
Next, the number 3 Clemson Tigers will be facing the number 23 Virginia Tech Hokies for the ACC Championship. The Tigers defeated the University of South Carolina Gamecocks last week 56-7, while the Virginia Tech Hokies also defeated the University of Virginia by a score of 52-10. The spread favors Clemson by 10.5. Who do you have?
I mean, I'm all in, see what I did there, on Clemson winning this game, but I'm not necessarily all in on Clemson when it comes to being in the playoff picture.
I agree. I don't think I almost said Michigan State. I don't think Virginia Tech has any chance to pull this upset here against Clemson.
I will say that he almost pulled a Casey from last week.
Yeah.
I did though. I saved myself.
I am going on the upset. I'm taking Virginia Tech. I know it's crazy, but I don't feel like Clemson deserves to be in the playoffs, and I think Virginia Tech is going to be the one that screws them up and lets them out.
You know Beamer's not the coach there anymore.
Doesn't matter.
Justin Fuente.
After their big 45-17 win over Washington State, the Washington Huskies have moved up to the number 4 spot in the college football rankings. The 11-1 Huskies are traveling to face the number 9 and 10-2 Colorado Buffaloes for the Pac-12 championship. The Colorado Buffaloes are coming off a close 27-22 win over Utah. The spread favors Washington by 7.5 points. Who do you have winning this game?
I've got the Huskies winning this game. I feel like Washington has the upper hand over Colorado. It's going to be a good game, though. It is going to be a contested game for the Washington Huskies. They're going to have to play a good 4-quarter football game. I mean, you know, a lot of teams don't really have to play 4 quarters football game to win. Washington is going to have to do that this week.
Don't say that ever to a coach. Don't say that to a coach.
You know it's true. Come on now. You know it's true. Washington's going to have to play 4 quarters to win this football game, but I'll take the Huskies.
Okay. I think they're going to have to play a little bit less than that. I'll go 2.5 quarters because I think about the middle of the third quarter, the talent on Washington's team is going to start pulling away, and Jake Browning is going to lead them to a victory over the Colorado Buffalo.
I do like Washington, and I want to pick them, but I have been high on the Colorado Buffaloes all season long, so I'm just going to keep riding that gravy train, and I'm going to go with the Buffs in this one.
There's a possibility of a 3-way tie for the Sun Belt Conference Championship. Appalachian State has already won a share of the title. If Arkansas State wins against Texas State, they can win a share. Also, if Troy wins against Georgia Southern, they will also win a share. Do you see a 3-way tie happening?
Absolutely. I think Arkansas State can beat Texas State. They're not in the same class. And Georgia Southern, they were good last year. They're not good this year. I think Troy wins that one. I think we definitely have a 3-way tie.
I mean, to be totally honest with you guys, I'm not sure. If I was being honest right now,
Are you telling me you don't watch Sun Belt
I don't watch
football?
the Sun Belt religiously, so I'm actually going to throw it over to Erica here, who spent a lot of time in that conference.
Texas State doesn't have a fighting chance to beat Arkansas State. Troy last week absolutely manhandled them in the game. And if you remember, a couple weeks ago, Arkansas State manhandled Troy. So I'm going to pick Arkansas State taking down Texas State. And like you said, Georgia Southern, not a good football team. Troy's got everything to lose and everything to play for, so they're not going to lose this game. 3-way tie in the Sun Belt.
I'm disappointed that you don't watch Sun Belt football.
You heard it here first. Hot takes.
Last but certainly not least, the SEC Championship. Number 1 and undefeated Alabama Crimson Tide will be heading to Atlanta to face the number 15 Florida Gators. Last week, Alabama defeated Auburn 30-12. Florida, on the other hand, lost to Florida State 31-13. The spread is in favor of Alabama by 24 points. Do you think Alabama will cover the spread?
Yes.
I don't see how they couldn't. I mean, Florida, they pride themselves on defense, but this Alabama team just looks like they're going to be unstoppable, and Florida can't move the ball or score whatsoever. So I think Alabama's going to win this one pretty handily. Yes, Erica.
Florida can move the ball better than Auburn could. Auburn was their best chance to win. If anybody's going to trip up Alabama, I'm going to say it's going to be Florida. Hot take, I'm doing it. I'm picking the Florida Gators. I didn't pick them versus LSU. Everybody went against me versus LSU. Florida ended up doing a goal line stand. I'm not going to say that they're going to blow them out, but if the game is close in the fourth quarter, Florida's going to take it.
I don't think it's close in the fourth quarter. Just remember, a Purdue quarterback is playing for the Florida Gators. Purdue.
I think last year,
not Drew Brees.
It's okay.
Last year's Florida team was so much better than this year's Florida team, and they didn't put up much of a fight against Alabama. So I just don't think, and Alabama seems to be much better this year offensively than last year. So I can't, foresee Florida winning.
I'm just going with Florida. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Tiger Tally. We'll not have a show next week. This is going to be our last episode of the semester. Stay tuned. Stick around. You're going to see who wins the Fantasy Football Blitz next semester. It's not going to be him. Just happy holidays from everyone here at Eagle Eye and at Tiger Tally. See y'all later.
It's got